Welcome back to Burning River Bushcraft. Today we're going to be looking at the nCamp 5-piece stove set. I've been focused on camp cooking and setting up a proper camp kitchen lately. And most of the items that I've got, most of the items that I've showed you, are more lightweight, compact items that are designed for backpacking or for longer distance wilderness trips. Well, I wanted something more for car camping, more for overlanding, more for trekking. This is quite a bit larger than any of the other stoves I've got. This is getting closer to the size of the old 2-burner green Colemans that I used for years and years, and I haven't touched mine in quite a while. But this is a whole system. I can use multiple fuels with this, which I am a huge fan of. I've also got a cutting board, and I've got a really nice coffee maker included in this kit. This is definitely large for backpacking, but it's not overly large. It's got a fairly small footprint. And even if I was going on a canoe trip that was maybe a river trip where I wasn't portaging a lot, this would be a great stove. This would work really well on established campsites where I know I'm going to have a table when I get there. The stove has legs that pop out. It's got a cutting board that has legs that pop out. It really makes a comfortable cook station. So everything's in here pretty tight. I've got extra room here for small items. I would probably put a lighter in here, maybe a ferro rod. And when you get to the next flap, you see the size stove that we're dealing with here. So I'm so used to lately having just a burner. So I just have a very small footprint. If I've got an entire family or if I'm cooking for multiple people, I've got a much larger work area here, and I really appreciate that. So here's the stove, and this has swing down legs, and this is a multi-fuel stove. And I am a huge fan of multi-fuel stoves. So as it sits right now, this is going to be a twig stove, so you can just fill this up with debris right off the ground and cook for nothing. I also have adapters here. So I've got all the adapters needed to run propane bottles as well as the small butane propane mix cans. Now this is just getting fancy here. This cutting board has swing down legs on it. And definitely, if I was trying to save weight, this is not something I would include. But since you've got a container that's a little bit large anyway, this doesn't take up much space. And it's got nice legs. It definitely fancies up your camp and makes cooking a lot easier. This is the espresso style coffee maker, and I have never used one of these before. So it's got an insulated cup. And this thing's pretty cool. I haven't made coffee in it yet. I'm going to make coffee here in just a second. But I boiled water through when I cleaned it. And I've never used anything like this. I'm sure I'm probably going to do it wrong. So if you see me doing something incorrectly, go ahead and leave me a comment. I'm sure my coffee is not the perfect coffee for this. I've never used one, but damned if I'm not going to make some coffee in it either way. So most of the time, I'm just going to be burning twigs right off the ground with this. But for this demo, I'm going to set it up with a gas bottle. So I'm just going to push this through, just going to thread this down. So there's a little bit of extra room in that case, but there's not a lot. You're not going to really be putting food items in there. I would definitely put a lighter in there, probably a ferro rod as well. And they sent me one of their foldable chef knives. And that is pretty slick. I have never seen anything like that. Most of the time I just make do with a regular bushcraft knife. But in this case, you've got a regular kitchen. You've got a whole kitchen in a bag. You can set it up, and no sense being kind of fancy. If you're being fancy, you might as well be real fancy. And this is a line lock blade, so I can collapse this, and when it's open, it's latched in. So a pretty cool knife for initial impressions. I'm going to give this a little bit of use, and then I'll just give you my thoughts on it. You can find that short video here on YouTube Shorts. I will also probably put it up on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. All right, let's light this stove up, see how it does. So normally you would lift this up and light it. Because I've got a little more reach here, I'm going to put this down in and light it this way. So that stove's got a nice work area, and it's going to work great with larger pots, especially if you're car camping and you're trying to feed multiple people. Now this coffee maker, like I said, it's got an insulated cup here. And the bottom screws off. this comes out, and then we're going to put water in here and coffee in here. Now I've just got regular grind Maxwell House, so I'm sure this is not the right coffee, but I'm going to use what I got. So we'll give it a try. I'll fill this up with water, and then we'll put it on the burner. And this coffee maker is pretty slick. Just running water through it, I was impressed. It's not a percolator. That's what I thought it was going to do, but it waits till it reaches like a boiling temperature, and then it releases pretty much all of the liquid at once. It's pretty cool. If this is the kind of thing you like to see, go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment in the comment box, and ring the bell to be notified of my latest videos. You can also find me on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook at Burning River Bushcraft. I also teach outdoor classes at outdoorcore.com. So for me, this is pretty darn fancy. And I am sure some of you know way more about an espresso style coffee maker than I do. And I'm probably sure I'm doing it wrong. So just leave me a comment if you have any suggestions. I don't know if I was supposed to take it off, if I took it off too soon, am I supposed to let it go longer? I don't know. But I got almost an entire cup here. This is just below the rim, and we'll give it a taste test. That's good. This is a little strong. I went heavy 2.5 on this, 2.5 spoon or heaping spoons, and you're getting every bit of that with this. So there's not a lot of wasted coffee. I know when I use a pour over coffee maker, I usually have to go a little bit heavy on the grounds. With this, it's pretty strong. If you're not carrying this weight on your back, this 5-piece nCamp set is really, really nice to have. This is true luxury here, to have such a large work area, to have a table, and to have an espresso style coffee maker like this. This is like next level. This has been Jamie Boggs with Burning River Bushcraft. See you soon.